Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. I'm finishing up here. It's been, I fished 7 spots this morning. I was going back and forth between Chester Copperpot blade and running something I do a lot in the fall later on, but I was giving it a shot. I was putting a small Kitech swim bait on a drop shot and dragging it off the bottom. About a 1.5 foot lead between my drop shot hook and my swim bait, so it keeps it up off the bottom. All these fish are feeding up anyway, and I was hoping that something was starting to chase bait, because that really is a great presentation. Again, I use it a lot in the fall and winter out here. When I think the last fish I caught last season out here was on that rig. That was 2 or 3 days before Christmas when I pulled the boat. So that's something I use a lot when the water's cold, but I figured, well, if they start chasing bait, they've been choking up little perch, and thought maybe I would use that. Hasn't really done me much good. I fished 7 spots. Like I said, I've got a couple perch going. Air temp this morning when I left the house was the coldest it's been in quite a while. It was in the mid 40s. I think it was 46 when I left. Water temps, I saw a buddy of mine out here. He said the water temps were 76 instead of just giving you the toe tapping test. Although I will tell you that my feet were freezing by the time I got out here this morning, and so I was holding them in the water just so they would warm up, and it worked. I've already stripped down all my layers. I'm down into shorts and a t-shirt now, and it's 9:30 in the morning. And it's supposed to be a beautiful 80-degree, bright, sunny day. And I think Courtney and I are going to pull the jet skis out of the water and take them up to Sandy Pond and go out on the lake and mess around a little bit and go to the beach and have a little picnic on the beach. And I think I'll leave one of the jet skis on the trailer, and I think I'm going to go do something interesting tomorrow, or at least I'm going to give it a shot. I really have my mind set on trying to go out and catch a fish out on Lake Ontario, jigging blind. I don't know if it can be done. I've never seen it. I've never seen it done, and I've never seen anybody jig a king salmon on Lake Ontario that I know of, especially not out in open water. I don't even know anybody that's tried it. So that's what I have in my head that I'm going to do tomorrow morning. We shall see. Plans changed for today, and which is why I'm back here on Oneida Lake today in the jet skiing. But we put a new video up last night. The video last night was interesting, and I hope everybody gives it a watch. It was one day last week. I was out with my buddy Don Birdie. We had a nice morning. I don't know, we ended up with 12 or 13 maybe, and 5 or 6 keepers in that lot. I got a big one too, my biggest of the season. But the beauty of that video was that we were both fishing blades pretty much the whole time. We were fishing blades the whole time. And Don and I do things very differently. Don is way more aggressive on his jig than I am, and I'm more finesse. And he jumped out to an early lead, and then I caught him, and we stayed pretty neck and neck afterwards, which meant that both of those techniques, the aggressive and the finesse, and the same lure, same boat, were catching fish at the same time. And it again, I say it in the video too, and that goes to the fact that I tell everybody all the time, there's way more than one way to do anything. Whether it's your job, or whether it's working, whether it's your job or whether it's fishing or whatever it might be. Most things in life, there's multiple ways to do it. And so what I really want to stress is that when you're fishing a blade, or whether you're fishing a jig and wrap, or whatever you're doing out here, I can show you how I do it. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm showing you how I do it. And in that video, I'm showing you how Don does it as well. And I'm highlighting the fact that both of those things work at the same time. So what does that mean, Matt? Well, that means for everybody out there watching is that there are different ways of doing things, and they all can work. You know, fishing is so theoretical, and it's confidence based, and it's theoretical, and there's not a hard and fast rule really for anything. And so experiment. Don't be afraid to experiment. The worst thing that's going to happen is you're not going to catch something. So you keep experimenting until you get a bite. And then once you get that bite, then you have to be mindful and you have to remember exactly what I was doing when I got that bite. And then you recreate it. If it worked once, chances are it's going to work again. You know, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, now it's a pattern. And you can develop a pattern pretty quickly, and you can develop your own style pretty quickly just by paying attention. I was doing this when I got the bite, or I was doing this when I got the bite, because I've been doing that. You know, mix it up, try it out, try different things, and it's I can't stress that enough. It will increase your success, but it'll also increase your mental game, because now things will start, that puzzle starts coming together, and you're looking at all those puzzle pieces. You know, nowadays I'm no different than anybody else. I watch these videos. I spend all winter just gorging myself on YouTube videos, and there's so much information out there. And I'm not saying that everybody says, you have to do it my way, but you have to take all of those different ways and digest them and put them into practice in different scenarios, and start to put together. That's your angler toolbox. You know, that's your toolbox. And one lure can be fished in a myriad of different ways in different situations and catch fish in all those ways. So don't be afraid. Don't get locked into something, and don't get locked into something, especially if it's not giving you success. There comes a point where you cut your ties on something, you know. So if you're fishing that blade bait and you're fishing one way and one way only, and you're not catching squat on it, and you're sure that you're overfish, and you've tried to move and get on different schools of fish, and you're still doing it the same way and you're not having any success, then try something different. And I don't necessarily mean a different lure. I mean, try it a different way until you can get success, because blades work, jigging wraps work, jigging a minnow works, bucktailing a worm work. Like, all of those things work. But if you keep doing something one way and you're not successful at it, then you got to change your ways. You know, so that's, especially, you have to change before you start to get frustrated and negative up here and go, this sucks. This doesn't work. There's no fish here. I mean, we've heard it all. We've all said it all. You know, my goal here is to teach. And I'm not hung up on what I'm teaching or whose idea it was that I'm teaching. What I want to do is teach and help anglers be better, so they enjoy it more and they spend more time on the water, because I believe time on the water is invaluable. Fishing time is invaluable to people's mental health. And I think it's such a huge benefit to be out here, you know, even on days where you're not catching nothing, but it's just a benefit to be out here. So if I can help teach a little bit, or introduce different ideas and positive things to people, man, I'm blessed. My grandmother always told me I'd make a good teacher. Well, I've been teaching now for, God, pushing 30 years. Because when I started guiding, I started teaching. And my subject is fishing. And I've got a lot of different subspecies, you know, sub-subjects too. You know, I've been blessed. I've been able to do a lot of fishing in a lot of places for a lot of different species. And all of that keeps continually adding up. You know, my tackle box, my mental tackle box is big, but it's never full. It's never full. There's always something more I can learn, you know, my good friend and friend of the channel, and you know, really been wonderful in my life, Captain Tony Buffa. Boof is 80 years old, or damn close if he's not yet. And I'll tell you the thing about him that is so fantastic and which is what keeps him going, is his thirst for the next thing. His quest for always being open-minded. Because at 80 years old and doing this out here for almost 50 years, he's seen it all. And he could very easily have gotten stuck along the way that, there's only one way to do it. This is the only way I want to do it. It's the, you know, whatever. But he doesn't. I mean, that guy's got stuff on his boat that some of you out there would never have heard of before or ever seen, you know. And he's the one that turned me on to blade baits. I knew what they were, but I'd never fished them really until the day I chartered with him for my daughter's birthday. This was probably 4 years ago. And ever since that day, when he showed me exactly what to do with it, and I had success on it that day, then all of a sudden everything changed for me. You know, and then I started buying blades, and I started the YouTube channel 3 years ago, and I started catching fish on I1 blade baits, and I started talking about them before I started, you know, doing this and everything. And people were watching it going, oh, that's cool. Like, you're showing how to do it. We have a lot of products out there, but not a lot of people break it down for you and show you step by step how to do it. And again, I'm not saying that my way is the right way. It is for me, but it's just a baseline. It's just a starting off point where you can see somebody do it with success and go, okay, I already know it works. I know it works on my lake. It's not like I'm filming on Oneida, and if you're fishing on Oneida, it's not like I'm off in somewhere else, even though I believe walleyes are walleyes, or fish, and fishing's fishing. You know, I throw that in there for my wife. But like, what we're doing here is we're showing what's working here and now on this lake. Now, this morning's a perfect example. Do I go out and smoke them every single day that I'm out? No. No. Now, I'm a little hindered by fishing off a jet ski with no electronics and no visuals, and I only fish spots that I really know like the back of my hand. But I'm still on this lake, and I'm still telling people, and I'm still showing, and it wouldn't matter where I was and doing whatever. I'm showing you what's working or not working now, and how to do it, and what's going on. And that's been a real pleasure for me. That's been the joy of this season, and the success that the channel's had this year is really diving deep into some of the things that I really like to do and sharing it with other people. And the response has been great, obviously, because people are enjoying it and they're learning from it. I get messages, whether public or private, every day with people saying, thanks, Matt. You know, I thank you. I watch your stuff. I've never heard anybody explain and like pull the curtain back and show what's behind that curtain. So thank you. And for everybody that said that to me, you're very welcome. I couldn't be happier to do it. I enjoy it. And it's what I'm good at. Fishing's been my whole life, professionally and otherwise. My whole life in like 4 or 5 different incarnations. So you keep coming back to what I know. I'm sure that this looks like just a black screen, but all right, I'm getting out of here. I'm gonna go get Mama up and go load the jet skis and go have some fun on the beach today. And I want everybody out there to have as much fun. That's what it's all about. I vote for fun in this lifetime. If it's not fun, I don't want to do it. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for all your support. Go watch last night's video. Go over to the Shopify store and buy a t-shirt or a book or a sticker. Show your support for the channel. Every bit of support is greatly, greatly appreciated by me. So thanks, everybody. And as always, keep your tip up.